Good afternoon, Bruin fans, and welcome to postseason edition of Something Bruin with Coach Cook and Rashad. How are you doing this afternoon? And we're starting the title out with postseason edition. One more sleep, and it's ready to kick off the second part of the 22 season.
Absolutely. For us, this is a new season, 5 games. And our goal is 1-0 each week. Obviously, we got a good Franklin County coming in, but we'll get to that. But I'm doing pretty good. I can sit here and tell you what a difference, man. Just having a great coaching staff, from top to bottom that could go out and carry out the duties of the day. And, I'm foot to foot with them and working with them as well. But we just got a phenomenal coaching staff. But I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, and so let's. I know we had a episode to close out the regular season last week as it was our bye, but just recapping here our regular season. 8-2 and going out to Deep Creek. The VHSL recognized the Western Branch as one of the high schools with getting the sportsmanship award.
Absolutely. We were pleased to see that acknowledgement. It was released on Twitter, and then I believe officially, put out on our platforms, and our school was, recognized as well as they were tagged in. But it just speaks volumes, not only for football, but other sports within our high school that are, coming out and doing their due diligence when it comes to just sports etiquette, respecting the game and, being great teammates to one another. But not only that, but, just showing that type of brand of football, as this is our platform, can be played and still be played at a high level.
Yes, and with us having a bye, but having a one plus point ahead of Franklin County. Franklin County won last week, but did not play the same level school as Franklin County. So, we stayed at 4, they stayed at 5, and they're coming 460 East tomorrow. And last year, for the fans thinking that, hey, didn't we play them last year? Yes, they drove last year to our place. It was a highly contested game with Graham Terry pulling a trick out with a onside kick, and Franklin County wasn't ready. It bounced off one of their players' face masks. We jumped on it, and it helped us to leap on with controlling the game and hanging on for an 8-point win, 35-27.
Absolutely. No one will ever forget that particular play, let alone that game. It took a lot of perseverance for our guys to fight through and compete at a high level against a opponent that we don't see often. That's our biggest challenge. Do we match up well, and are we going to do a good job just, executing the opportunities? Because Franklin County does not do a lot of things that hurt them, and what's coming, So that's one of their pluses. But for us, we'll be fine. That was a magical night. And then that carried over into Manchester with another, miracle night, if that makes sense, with with Quizzy Trotman connecting with Todd. So, just a lot of good history of this new age Bruin football program, and these kids, these athletes, these guys are different from who we were and what we looked like in the 80s, 90s, 70s, and early 2000s. These guys are big, they're faster and stronger and smart, so at the same time, I discount no era. I know we had a lot of high football IQ guys, but, all in all, we're in a good spot. Franklin County is a team, again, they got a simple playbook. It's like 4 passes and 4 run plays, and you got to stop it. But our guys have had a very good week. We were able to heal up over the bye week as well, and get some guys prepared for this week as well. So, we'll be excited. Playing Thursday night football, baby.
Yes. And, the other thing is looking at Max Preps, looking at Huddle, looking at the Roanoke Times, trying to find something where I did my own little research on Franklin County. I mean, it does look like that they have some, offensive players, quarterback, running back, wide receivers that are seniors this year. So more than likely, they were on that team last
Absolutely.
year as juniors.
Yes, they were. They returned their quarterback. They returned their running back. There was a sophomore fullback, kind of H-back, that is returning. And I believe their secondary, much like ours, are all returning with a combination of either being a receiver or, being a part of that secondary on the defensive side. But yet, on our side, it's the same thing. We're the same group that most of our kids have played. We lost about four on defense, and we lost only 2 or 3 on offense. So, we returned 8 on 0, give or take, and then we returned 7 on defense. So, it's going to be a good matchup. Our focus this week has really been, just form, fitting, executing the drill, and then offensively, just assignment alignment football when it comes to just technique, footwork, you name it, and special teams. We really understand the only way we can advance is that phase of the game has to be special. So, it's been a lot of work crammed into 2 or 3 days, but we should and we will be prepared going into tomorrow night's matchup.
Yes, and also I know that it's based on enrollment. Group 1, 2, 3, all the way up through 6.
Correct.
But the Southeastern District. I mean, we got Oscar Smith and us in 6. We got Nansen River, Indian River, Hickory in 5. We got Deep Creek and Kings Fork. Not only both in 4, but they're actually playing each other. So 7 Southeastern District teams, playing there in the postseason.
Absolutely. Again, that speaks volume about the, toughness of our conference. And, each week is a big time game. So, kudos to every team that's able to play beyond the regular season. For us, we treat postseason games and practices just like bowl season. We're getting 5, 10, or 15 practices better going into the new year versus a team that had to turn in their equipment the final week 10, and they're just getting prepared for their next sport or how their all-season program will look. So for us to be able to still be in the weight room, to still be able to practice and prepare each week, it's only making our program stronger and better. Absolutely.
Yes, and to talk about our program and Monday night ended up having a chance to come up there to the high school and cover the Western Branch Middle School. That was the host team there with the City Chesapeake Middle School, one of the semifinal games.
Yes.
And with a lot of middle schools now in Chesapeake, I mean, Western Branch and Crestwood, they might have scrimmaged, but they didn't play in the regular season. And, Western Branch Middle School, I mean, they had an undefeated regular season. They have some 8th graders that come the summer, be part of high school Bruin football.
Absolutely. Well, I told Coach Dale Bridge and his staff, and I also shared this with the kids at West Branch Middle, enjoy being a middle school player. Enjoy every sport you can to make that school and make you better. Trying to get up to the high school so fast, it's a long process up here. And our freshmen are starting to recognize that as they're coming up on their 1 year. For those who came in a little bit earlier in late January, they're realizing it's a lot more, So at the end of the day, very proud of them, very proud of Jolliffe. They also played, I believe, on Monday or Tuesday. They played Monday, Jolliffe, to finish up their season, something to that effect. But it's going to be a new opportunity for those guys, the rising freshmen from both feeder schools. When they come into our program, Coach Thomas, Coach E, and the rest of our staff have done a phenomenal job developing our freshmen all the way up to seniors. So, that again gives us confirmation that we're in the right alignment and we're doing the little things right. So at the end of the day, Coach Delbridge came up a little short, but that doesn't discount the effort of the kids that competed. And Crestwood is a pretty good team. I had a chance to watch them versus Jolliffe, and they're a team again that doesn't do a lot to hurt themselves. So go ahead, you talk to me. What are you thinking?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you as Crestwood. They definitely had pretty good quarterback that was hard to bring down if you don't hit them the right way with it being middle school age.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But phenomenal year for both. Phenomenal year. I know Jolliffe didn't have the season they wanted. But for those kids to come out to practice every day and try to get better, I did see a difference. From game one all the way up to the final game of the season. So to me, that's confirmation that they're getting better. That program is going to be okay, and I can't wait to be able to work with those guys.
Yes, and then our Bruin football flashback. It was a great opportunity for myself, to ride out to Blacksburg last Friday and be in the audience of the uh, the Hall of Fame banquet. And I know that Cam Chancellor and Bruce Arias was going in, but to be there with Bruin alum Vince Hall, going in and then having a chance afterwards to talk to him and talk to him what it was like to be part of Bruin football and bring up his coaches as he didn't just play football. He played baseball, played basketball there when he was at Western Branch, but definitely brings up where being a Bruin, it's about tradition.
Absolutely, and that was my biggest focus. When I took the job over, wins are going to come. All the other little things that kind of give you the accolades are going to be there. But the biggest thing our program needed was to restore tradition. Just bring things back to not necessarily the old 90s or the old 80s or 70s, but yet just bring back the little things that brings back the pride in Western Branch High School. And, we've obviously made some changes around the facility. We brightened up a lot of things around here. We've, put historical things back up. But, at the end of the day, family is kind of like where Vince was going to. Once you're a Bruin, you're always a Bruin. So for us, it was just returning things back to tradition, not trying to erase the history of Western Branch. And, that's every coach that has been a head coach of this program. That's every assistant. That's every player that has also been a part of this program. And to me, that is 80% of our success right there. Kids understanding what Bruin pride is, to where when they wear Western Branch, like I do daily, they take pride in wearing Western Branch football or Western Branch apparel. And that was missing when I got here. A lot of kids, that was one of the changes we started with. You have to wear something Western Branch when you're at practice or working out or some conditioning. And, to me, to watch that evolve from the summer of 2020 all the way to the summer of 21, or 21, yep, and then 22, it was just awesome to see. So it's all about pride. Vince is a Bruin. He's a Bruin for life. Although he's a Hokie for life, it's kind of neat how you always come back to that one sport that, in my humble opinion, is still pure, and that's high school football. Everything else is kind of moving towards a business model. How you recruit a kid, or the NFL, is this guy a prototypical NFL player? Or high school, it doesn't matter how tall you are or how small. If you can put on a jersey and make a play, you're on that roster, if that makes sense. So go ahead.
Yeah, and it was just great. I mean, there
Yes,
was no reserved seating there at Virginia Tech conference room. So each person going into the Hall of Fame had their own table for their own
family.
friends,
Yep.
family.
Yep.
And so it was just it was just cool to see, Vince, and then his sister was also there, and his sister, played basketball
That's
there. I think with CJ's sister,
yep, yep.
so just connections all over there with one place of, I know it was 4222 Terry Drive when we were there, but
Right.
now 1968 Grove Place.
Absolutely. His oldest brother was there too, Trey. Trey was
Yes.
there, and he's a
Right.
former Bruin, played
Right.
football here, played basketball here as well. So it was good to see, Trey out there. And then his daughter, Lilia,
Yeah.
was out there as well, a
Right.
spitting image of Vince Hall. So, at the end of the day, it was great. It was great to see just, him receive his flowers, like the kids say today. But, finally be recognized for his contribution to not only Virginia Tech, but also an extension of Western Branch High School. So when he went in, our high school went in as well, so that's
Right.
pretty cool.
Right. And, I did put the full interview at the end on my YouTube channel, but, he just talked about, he finished up the interview where, I mean, even though it's postseason, hey, the kids worked so hard, had a great regular season, tomorrow night when it's 6 o'clock, just go out there and have fun.
Absolutely. I believe he quoted Bud Foster.
Yes, he did.
Yes, without a doubt. He quoted Bud Foster. He shared that story with me so many times. And just what it did to their defense, going up against a good Clemson, football team at the time. But, I believe it's decreased their value,
Yes.
increased their will to want to be able to compete with you. And I know I'm tearing it up, but I get the message, and the old cliche term is, let these guys realize that they don't belong on the field with you. You know what I mean? So
Right.
at the end of the day, I know that's been a quote that he's quoted numerous times. He shared that with our kids last year, homecoming night. He gave our guys a speech, and it's just, it never gets old. So very happy for him, and I'm glad he's been able to connect and reconnect with our program and some of his teammates and some of the old heads of West Branch High School. So it's been fun. It's been fun watching this process.
Yes, because he did talk about, recruiting visit there with Marvin and Emmett and
Yep.
Keith,
Yes.
and then going back to when I started, following Virginia Tech there, when Jeff Holland went from Western Branch to Tech, and then Lorenzo and Chiron and
Yep.
the others, just talking about the Bruin family.
Absolutely. At one point between Deep Creek and Western Branch, we were the football factory, I guess, for lack of better terms, feeding into Virginia Tech. But yeah, it's a lot of good history, and it never gets old for us. We love seeing our guys succeed. Remember, I shared that with you about a week or two ago. No matter what platform, whether you're a business owner or you're starting some, or you're wherever you are, grow where you're planted. But we love seeing guys succeed.
Right. And so, tomorrow night, I know that with the end of this week being a holiday, and I know originally we were going to play Friday at 6, due to Franklin County, having a nice drive,
Yeah,
come play us. But, it's with it being postseason, if we do know in advance what the forecast is going to be, we definitely want to play on good field conditions and not have a quarterfinal matchup. I mean, Friday is supposed to be nothing but wet weather for a good portion of the day, so it should be a good weather evening there tomorrow for some good playoff football.
absolutely. The other thing I think is you want your fans to come out and support. And I feel like inclement weather, more than just a game of football, you're not getting that full high school experience. So we made a sound decision to move it up a day. That allows, people to come and support. Friday is a holiday, so most people will be off. I know for us, we'll be off. But that's the other side. Outside of football, we should be able to play in any weather, and be able to execute it in any opportunity of weather. But at least being a home team, we're allowing our community to come out and cheer our guys on the victory and support our young men that are competing.
Yeah, so it's still gofan.com,
Yes.
there for $5 students. Now $10 for adults with it being postseason.
Playoffs. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And let's see, 6 o'clock, kickoff.
Kick off.
So,
Yes.
yes, so fans, please. I mean, I'm sure the gates are gonna open probably 5 o'clock, an hour before.
Everything's moved up an hour. So what our normal flow would be, everything's been moved up an hour. And that's even in our preparation, getting ready to kick off. So, yep, it would be 5 o'clock versus 6 o'clock as far as the gates being open. And, again, getting your ticket online makes it a whole lot easier.
Yes, and
in advance.
right. I mean, and and the thing is if you wanna beat the rush, and please get there, as soon as you can, because it'll be a great atmosphere. I saw that the other games are, it looks like every single one of them, except for over on the peninsula where they share Darling Stadium.
Mhm.
So one's going to be late afternoon, one's going to be evening. But it seems like all the other games are going to be kicking off at 7.
Yes, everything's been moved up to, well, that is one. But also, we checked, I believe all games have been moved to Thursday. I
Right.
believe so. Coach Jones and I kind of took a glimpse a little earlier today. So, at the end of the day, I think we all got it right, again, at the safety of the kid, but also at the opportunity of supporters. I think we all got it right as a high school football program abroad. It's the game will also be, I think, aired live on Facebook. Franklin County has their own television broadcast, and last year's game was aired live on Facebook. So I don't know the link per se, but if any supporter, any viewer that can't make it to the game and does not have NFHS network, then you're probably able to search Franklin County High School football on Facebook, and it should be live streamed in real time.
Well, we don't need
Uh-oh.
Franklin County, because since I was off today, I went to go get a battery pack,
Uh-huh.
and Sports Talk with Rags will be
No.
Facebook Live.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Y'all heard it here first, fans. Love it. Love it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be going back to work tomorrow, but with everything moved up an hour, I'm gonna have to leave at 1 and leave a couple hours early to get ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So hey, so if you're keeping track at home, Western Branch 6A 4 seed, host of Franklin County. So that means on our side of the bracket, we got 1 versus 8, and Oscar Smith's going to be hosting Kellum. So
Yes.
so no Lansdowne,
Right.
no Grassfield or Ocean Lakes this year.
Right. So the landscape does look different. But Kellum had a pretty good year, albeit their record doesn't reflect it. What a turnaround. Last year, I don't think they made it in. So to watch that program kind of, reemerge, I guess, and have a decent year to even make the playoffs, kudos to those guys. But at the end of the day, our seed is our seed. We take it, we'll take it, and I share this with our kids. We're probably one of the number 1 4 seeds in our bracket, if that makes sense. Like, we could easily be 1, 2, or 3, but we're sitting at 4. 4 is not a bad spot. 4 is not a bad spot, especially when we're already prepared, not looking ahead, but in most cases, our kids are already prepared for the possible second round opponent. But that's also the challenge, right? You don't want to look so far ahead that you miss on Franklin County, So our focus is on tomorrow night and getting through tomorrow night and then we will prepare accordingly.
Yes, and fans, so the other side of the 6A bracket is 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6. Thomas Dale, Manchester, they're going to be the host teams. One plays Cosby, one plays James River of Chesterfield. So it's like our side is 7-5-7 teams plus
Yeah,
Franklin County, and then the other side of the 6A bracket is nothing but 804 teams.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Cosby also had a pretty decent year. Again, looking at the record, but at the end of the day, again, another team that I don't believe made it last year, and then they found a way to get things turned around. So, it speaks volume about the type of conference we're in and how competitive it is. So just I'm excited, man. I'm ready to roll. We got one more prep right now of a modified Wednesday practice, and then a ghost game practice following that. But other than that, our kids are pretty much locked in. They're ready to roll. And we got a senior class that's very athletic. Fortunately, they've been able to compete in these games last year, a year ago. And as you mentioned several episodes ago, we just missed the playoffs in that spring season by one game. So our kids have been prepared or have been working towards these goals right here. And we got to keep, setting new goals.
Yes, and just to wrap it up here, I mean, it's I know that I was communicating with you and Charles, over the weekend, and then also with group chat there with the coaching staff there on Monday. I mean, with not playing in a game since the end of October, I mean, I'm ready for tomorrow at 6 to get here and game on.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one thing that has to happen, right? There's a game that has to be played. But yeah, we're excited about tomorrow's atmosphere. I'm just happy, coming out of a COVID and pandemic, to see our kids be able to play a full season and be able to play a realistic football game that we all grew up to love and appreciate. It was challenges with the social distancing, the masking up. We're not complaining, but it wasn't a norm when it came to football. But our kids are at least and safely still being able to compete. But now it really feels like football. So we're excited about that. Absolutely.
Yes. And I'd like to give a shout out here to, Coach Greenwood there with the field hockey.
Yes.
I did see that their state semifinals has been pushed to Saturday, but a lot of the field hockey fields are turf, so they should be able to take rain pretty good. But Western Branch are on their way to the state semis there in field hockey.
Yes, I believe. Who is it? Massaponax?
That is the site they play.
Okay, they're playing.
They play Yorktown, and the only way that I know about Yorktown, and it's not Yorktown, Virginia, but Yorktown High is there in Northern Virginia, not too far from where my sister lives. Which my sister, former Bruin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, up there, that's my old stomping grounds.
Right.
Absolutely. So no matter who they play, kudos to them. Obviously, we've been supportive of that program and all of our sports programs for the fall season. But this is their time. This is their opportunity, and we wish them nothing but the best.
Yes, and so, all right. Well, hey, fans, Coach Cook. Appreciate your time, and I know that with a lot of high school playoff games here in the area, tomorrow, I do know that I'll make sure that my phone is fully charged here with a battery pack. But appreciate you guys allowing me there to be on the sidelines and have this platform here to promote the football program.
Absolutely, we're really allowing just everybody to come into our world, if that makes sense, and see our kids compete. And it will always go back to those guys, our kids, the young ladies in our program, the managers, the trainers, you name it, they all get the glory. Our job is just to go out and go 1-0 tomorrow night, compete at a high level, and play together as one. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're excited.
So, all right. Well, hey, that's a wrap here for postseason edition here of the 22 season here for Something Brewing with Coach Cook. And fans, don't forget to go fan.com, and everything's moved up an hour.
Yep,
Gates
everything.
open up at 5, and then kickoff there at 6. So, Coach Cook, see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Bruin Nation, we love you. Go Bruins.
Yes, and ready to support the Bruins team here with regional quarterfinal action there tomorrow night. All right,
Absolutely.
all right, go Bruins.